Hey everybody, I'm Chef Tom with atbbq.com, and this is the Chicken Alfredo Burger. I love a good chicken burger, and we'll get into what constitutes a good chicken burger here in a little bit. Today I'm gonna tell you we're doing it Italian style. So we're doing handmade chicken patties. Let's be honest, that's what makes a good chicken burger. And we're doing also with the scratch-made Alfredo sauce on top. We're gonna have roasted tomatoes, some fresh spinach, and maybe the kicker here, garlic bread ciabatta buns. Let's get into it. So first thing we're gonna do is make the garlic butter for our garlic bread ciabatta buns. We're starting with 1 stick of butter. We're gonna add a couple tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, a 1/4 cup or 1 ounce of Parmesan, 1 teaspoon of garlic that's been broken down on the microplane super fine, and then 1 tablespoon of our Italian seasoning. Just give this a good mix, and then we're gonna keep it at room temperature so it spreads onto the buns really easy. Next thing we're gonna do is make our chicken burger patties. So I'm gonna start out with 1 ciabatta bun here. This is gonna get worked into the burger. It's gonna help to hold some moisture and also just kind of works as a little bit of a binder, like a breadcrumb. We're gonna make fresh breadcrumbs is essentially what we're doing. So to start off with just your ciabatta bun in the food processor, I'm gonna break that down into breadcrumbs. So now we're ready to add the rest of the ingredients for the burger. And that's gonna start with our chicken here. We're using chicken thighs, and don't trim any fat off. You want that fat in the burger. If you do have any like little hard joint pieces or anything like that, you can trim that up, but we're just gonna cut them into rather large cubes and toss them in there and then let them get totally broken down until they're like at a ground chicken consistency. But don't just buy that ground chicken at the store. I mean, this stuff is far superior, and honestly, it only adds about 5 minutes to your cook. It's really easy. So we're adding to the breadcrumbs our chicken thighs. It's about 1 1/4 pounds. We're doing a 1/4 cup or 1 ounce of Parmesan. And then 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. Again, that's gonna help keep that a little bit more unctuous, give it a little bit extra fat, and also great flavor. It does not take long. That chicken's broken down, no really big pieces. A couple that are a little bit larger is fine, but this looks good already. Now we're gonna divide this into 4 equal patties, or equal balls, I guess, right off the bat, because we're not actually gonna patty them up until they're on the grill. Looks like we've got 22.5 ounces, so these will work out to about 1/3 pound each. So just over 5.5 ounces each. So we're just gonna get these balled up and then throw them in the fridge to set up a little bit. Next, I want to get our tomatoes on the grill and roasting. And the grill we're cooking on today is the Napoleon P500 gas grill. So on the right side of the grill here, we've got the heat over high. We're gonna put down our Campari tomatoes. On the left side, we've got our griddle set up so that we can do our garlic bread ciabatta rolls. And this side is over low heat because we're gonna kind of toast those low and slow. We'll get to that here in a minute. So before I start buttering up my bread, I'm gonna set aside a couple tablespoons of our garlic butter that's gonna go into the Alfredo sauce. And the rest is free game for spreading onto the ciabatta rolls. All right, so let's go ahead and get our buns toasted off. So again, low heat. We don't want to scorch these, we kind of gently want to toast them and let them simmer in that garlic butter. So starting to take off ciabatta buns now as we're getting that nice brown crust on top, or on the cut side I should say. And then we're cranking this griddle temperature up to high for the burgers. You can see how our tomatoes have burst open now. They're actually cooking in their own juices inside the skin there. I'm not too worried about losing any juices because we're actually going to put these in a strainer. We can get rid of some of those juices. We want to kind of work this into a little bit thicker consistency like a chutney. But for now, those can just rest in the strainer, and we'll get to those in a little bit. So now we're ready to get our burgers on here. We're gonna put the ball on there, a little bit of parchment on top to cover, and then we're just gonna press this down, not to like a smash burger, but just till it's about that same diameter as the ciabatta bun, a little bit more. Let's take that off, and as soon as we do, we're gonna season the top with some of that Italiano seasoning. So let's close these up to let them cook, and then we're gonna transition over to the side burner here, where we're adding that reserved couple of tablespoons of garlic butter. This is the start of our Alfredo sauce. So from the bottom up, we've got bun, we're gonna have spinach, we're gonna have roasted tomatoes, we're gonna have burger, then this is the Alfredo sauce that goes over the top of all of it. Now with this melted down, we're gonna add in a half cup of heavy cream. And then I want to bring this up to a simmer. Checking on our burgers. Got a pretty nice sear going there. Nice browning. You see it's picked up some of the fond from the griddle that we left behind from the garlic bread. Those little flecks of garlic and goodness. Very tasty. I'll add just another little shake of Italiano on top. And we're gonna cook this to about 160. Got a little bit of a simmer happening now. So at this point, we're gonna add our third and final ingredient for the Alfredo sauce, and that's the Parmesan. An equal amount to the heavy cream, a half cup. That parm's gonna melt right into the cream and butter. And then we're just gonna simmer this until it kind of thickens up a little bit. Medium heat. Make sure you're whisking this occasionally. It's on full low heat now. You don't want anything to stick to the bottom, but once you get a spoon in there and it like pretty well coats the back of it, it's about thickened up to where we need it. So I'm gonna shut off the heat now. We'll let it hang out right here though and soak up some of that residual heat so it stays warm. Got these right up to 160 now, so we're ready to pull them off. So back to our tomatoes now. They've had a little time to cool down, so they're a little easier to handle. We're gonna get those stems out of there. And if they just kind of squish into nothingness, then you know you've done what you've meant to accomplish. All right, I think we got all of those stems out of there. There's one little one. So I'm just gonna kind of mash this through our little sieve. Again, I just want a little bit thicker consistency so that it's not dripping juice and soaking up the bun. And then to season this up, I'm just gonna do a pinch of salt and a little drizzle of balsamic. Not much at all. Roasted tomatoes are ready. Let's shred up some spinach and we're ready to build our burgers. And this tomato juice isn't necessarily trash. You can make a really great vinaigrette out of that or put it into a drink. So get some baby spinach. We're just gonna shred it up. You're looking for about 1 cup of shredded spinach. This is kind of like the bed of the burger. It's gonna go on top of the bun and catch any of the juices from the tomatoes or any Alfredo that might run down there. And so now since it's all shredded up, any juices that hit the spinach rather than being on a leaf and just kind of running down the leaf, they're just gonna absorb into all these little nooks and crannies. Let's go ahead and build this burger now. We've got our garlic ciabatta on bottom, our shredded spinach. Get some roasted tomato on there. It's almost like a chutney. Burger patty on top. And a couple tablespoons of Alfredo. All right, let's cut it because you know I want to see a cross section. Oh, that's pretty. And look at that juice in the middle of that patty. Still nice and juicy. Thank you, chicken thighs. Dark meat for the win. Oh my gosh. It's ridiculously juicy. When you think of a chicken burger, it's easy to dry it out, but man, got dark meat in there. We got the olive oil in there, the bread that soaks and holds on to the juices. And then the Alfredo is just coating the outside. That Alfredo tastes fantastic. Tastes like Parmesan, tastes like garlic. The tomatoes are really nice. It's a kind of completely different flavor than anything else that's going on in the chicken and in the garlic bread. It's nice to have that bit of acidity, because otherwise it's kind of rich. And then your spinach down there is just holding everything together. Totally coated now in juices and sauces. And it gives you a little bite of freshness. Man, garlic bread still got crunch to it. Those flavors are all fantastic. I mean, this was a surprising one for me. Even when I tested it, I wasn't sure how good it was gonna be, but this one seriously blows me away. You guys gotta try it. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to check out atbbq.com for all the products featured in today's video. If you enjoy the recipe, hit that subscribe button. And if you have any questions or comments, or there's anything you want to see me cook, let me know in the comment section down below, and let's be good to one another. For more recipes, tips, and techniques, head over to atbbq.com/thesauce. All things barbecue, where barbecue legends are made.